Hey, welcome to the theater, pal. Come on in. Your friendly neighborhood master chaos here. How are you? Come on in. Come on in. Don't be shy. Have a seat. Seat stayed for you. Like always, my friend, take a load off. Today we're talking Pearl, a prequel to the film X, co-written by Ty West and Mia Goth, starring Mia Goth, directed by Ty West. Now, if you've seen X, then you know who Pearl is. This movie is sort of designed to tell you a little bit more about Pearl and maybe why she was the way she was in X. Now, before I go any further, no spoilers. I promise you, 0 spoilers. I'm not going to give anything away in regards to what happens in the movie, who dies, none of that stuff. I'm going to keep this one spoiler free, so don't worry about that. Let's get to it. I liked X. I didn't love it. I would give it a 4 out of 5. Some people went crazy bananas for it. I just thought it was okay. I've only seen it once, and I think I'm good. I don't think I need to revisit it, but Pearl was announced at the end of X, and so a lot was riding on this movie. Designed as a prequel to let us know more about the old lady character in X, played by Mia Goth, which I thought was a really kind of neat touch in X. She's already married to Howard, who we met in X, but he's off at war. She's living in her parents' house. Her dad is an invalid. We don't know what happened to the dad. That is a mystery. Something happened. I think the mother intimates that he might have gotten sick by some kind of, fever back in the day, scarlet fever or whatever. And maybe that's the reason he's in the wheelchair. We don't 100% know. But she's basically helping out her German mother, who is a stern taskmaster and very, very strict. And Pearl is beginning to chafe at her bonds, and she is looking to free herself. And the only thing she finds as an outlet is the movies and dancing. She wants to be a famous dancer and travel the world, but her mother will not allow her to do so. Let's talk about the plot as much as I can. I'm going to be in the minority here, so hold on tight. Unfortunately, I found Pearl to be quite underwhelming. As a prequel to X, I don't really think it offers anything new that makes rewatching X extra special or offers a reinterpretation of that experience. And as a pseudo-sequel, it doesn't deliver the visceral punch, tension, or chaotic glee of the first one. I think the majority of the people who loved X are going to be let down by this movie. This is very much a slower-paced character drama punctuated by moments of violence, but they are few and far between. It does follow almost exactly the same formula that we saw in X, but what it lacks is a more engaging story, in my opinion. This is overall a very bleak and depressing movie, and normally I have no problem with that, but this being essentially a sequel, I was expecting quite a bit more than the incredibly slow burn that was delivered. Make no mistake, Mia Goth and Ty West have created one of the most unique characters in horror thriller cinema. Pearl may very well go on to be a horror icon. That remains to be seen, of course, and I'm curious how people will respond to this movie coming on the heels of X. Those who liked the cheeky fun and the rampant nudity of X will be sorely disappointed to find essentially an old-fashioned, slow-as-molasses drama about a horny farm girl. Now, this is a well-made movie with some excellent standout performances. One moment in particular, which everyone is talking about, is when the camera holds on Pearl and she delivers a stunning monologue that is incredible cinema. Mia Goth owns the screen. As a matter of fact, she owns this entire movie. But there's things in this prequel that I thought would answer questions I had from X, and it didn't, which I found incredibly frustrating because that's usually what a prequel is supposed to do. We knew Pearl was crazy. That's not new information to us. I wish we'd gotten more with Howard, especially considering what happens in the movie, and I wish we knew more about that damn alligator. But questions aren't really answered. There is a third film on the way, a trilogy capper that takes place after the events of X in the 80s, no less. I'm curious how this is going to wrap up, but no matter what, this is certainly the most interesting horror trilogy in modern memory. I personally was not really enthralled until the second half of the movie, when there's a very specific dinner scene that happens where the movie really ramps up, and then you're like, okay, now we're really into the second half. Kind of what happened with X. There was a moment where X was going on in one way, you're like, what the hell? What is it? I thought this was a horror movie, and then it kind of flips over. This movie never goes full on horror movie, really, and I think that's why I felt a little underwhelmed by it. It's punctuated by violence, but it doesn't deliver the visceral excitement that you got, at least from the latter half of X. 3 stars. I'm going with 3 stars for Pearl. It's still a good rating. It was just okay to me. I felt like I felt a little bit let down. I think I was expecting a lot more than was delivered. I'm hoping Maxine is maybe a little more interesting. It takes place during the 80s, so we'll see what happens. This will have nothing to do with Pearl. I'm curious, if you've seen X, what do you feel about this middle, we're calling it a middle chapter, but a prequel. Well, how do you feel about this installment after watching X? Do you feel it was downplayed on purpose because it's technically the first movie and then it ramps up as it goes along? And how would you watch it when the trilogy is together? Would you go Pearl, X, Maxine, or would you do X, Pearl, Maxine? I guess it really would be up to the viewer. I'm curious. Chime in below in the comments if you've seen X, what you thought of Pearl, and if you were seemingly underwhelmed like I was, or if you thought I was perfectly fine, which is great. Either way, even though we disagree, we can still be pals. My friend, I love you. It's time to close the theater down. I'm going to grab this curtain, pull it across the silver screen, and I'm going to have to send you on your way. But I hope we get to hang out again. Look at that. You see that thing right there? Why don't you subscribe while you're here? Also, drop me a thumbs up. Subscribing means you and I get to hang out again and watch movies, talk movies. I would love that. It was such an honor spending time with you. I'd love to do it again. So let us do that. But for now, my friend, don't let the door hit you on the ass, because the theater's closed for now.